Caroline Flack. Unfortunately, she hung herself.
Was it a hanging?
She hung herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I did not even know that.
You know, for her to find herself in a space where she felt that was the only way out is nuts. Because obviously, when we talk about celebrities, or when we see celebrities in terms of what they look like to us anyway, as just normal people, they're always smiling.
Yeah,
they're rich.
Yeah,
they're in expensive clothes.
Yeah.
They're feeling themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they're on TV all the time. They're like a staple in our day-to-day lives. For people that watch Love Island, we see them every day, basically every day. And you wouldn't think for someone who, you know, has to us all these things that we, I guess, would want.
Yeah, that we would covet. Yeah.
Yeah. For them to see that as the only way out is just too crazy. And obviously for her, bearing in mind her situation with her pending case, in regards to her
boyfriend,
the assault on her boyfriend, it's just crazy. Obviously, you know, rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, this situation is so complex that I think that's the best word for it, because, like you said, this is a high-profile person, a celebrity that, from the outside looking in, you would think they've got everything straight.
Yeah.
But then cracks begin to show. Mm-hmm. And those cracks begin to show, obviously, with this whole assault situation.
Yeah.
Where I've read that, you know, there was claims that her mental health was not in
A1.
It's not. A1, and she herself has actually publicly talked about her mental health previously. So this is not something that's hidden. Mm-hmm. But her mental health was an issue for some time, which possibly played a part in the assault situation. We don't want to speculate too much, but possibly. So then, obviously, that situation has played out to the point where she's now lost her spot on Love Island. Mm-hmm. And she's obviously eventually got to the point where she felt like she has lost so much that she no longer has anything to live for. Which, from my perspective, I struggle to understand how a person gets to that point. But people are getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like, if you've never experienced it, it may be difficult to understand. Because I remember when I told my dad the news, we were on the way home and I told him the news. And he was like, but this woman, if she's got enough money that even if she doesn't have to, even if she doesn't have the Love Island thing, she can invest and she can live. And I'm in my head, I'm like, yeah, Dad, you're right. She probably can survive without, but we can't necessarily understand where she was. Because I read that someone was actually staying with her.
For real?
Yeah, one of her friends was staying with her because they knew she was vulnerable because of the whole situation with the CPS finally saying that they would take her to trial. Yeah. So that friend went to go and stay with her, and then in the morning was like, Caroline told her basically, I'm okay. And I think then the friend went to the shop.
Yeah.
Returned, couldn't get in, finally got in, and then found her dead. Yeah. So even in that, where someone has taken the time to specifically sit down with and spend time with her, even in that,
in their mind,
in her own, there was still the internal, even though there was a physical presence with her, mentally she was still alone. which there's a lot of people like that where they're part of normal society, they have people around them, but they still feel alone. And you can't necessarily see the signs outside looking in until it's too late. So it's proper sad. It's proper sad. And then obviously, since the passing, there's been the whole issue with, okay, once again, it's like what we talked about with TMZ.
Yeah.
Because the media, obviously, they've been on her back for a while now.
For a cool minute, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people have said, listen, it's over the top. You're causing celebrities to crack.
Yeah. You know how you see all these articles in the Sun, these smart papers basically. Obviously, with the Sun, there was quite a few of those articles, but I saw on Twitter that someone's tried to search up some of those Caroline Flack articles after post her passing, and they're nowhere to be found. So you can imagine these lot obviously know what they're doing. There's consciousness behind it.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't matter because it's what people want to see.
Yeah. It boils right back down to the TMZ thing. Listen, people want to see something. We're going to give it to them by any means necessary. And the people keep feeding off it.
Bro, they're eating it, man.
So,
they're eating it.
Do we really expect it to end? Do we really expect it to stop? Yeah, for maybe a week, we might all, you know,
be somber
like
about
there's
it.
this whole discussion about Caroline's law where they want to basically make media bullying illegal, right? There's this discussion going on and all of that, but it's like how long does this discussion last? The discussion lasts for 1 week, then it stops, and then we go back to desperately wanting the information firsthand and straight away, and then the cycle continues.
There's a parasitic thing about it, man. It's like we want to know just as much as they want to post it.
That's the problem.
Yeah. We want to know just as much. And there's something to be said about that, man. It's a society thing in general. It's a society thing.
Yeah, no. It is a broader society issue. It can't be just the media. We can't just look at the media and blame them for everything. We can't.
We all have
to
self-assess.
I think we do that because when these situations happen, we know we've been subconsciously we've been contributing, and so we want to feel like we're doing something to kind of suppress that feeling of guilt that we know as a society we have contributed to this person getting to this point.
Facts.
And then another thing is like there's been this back and forth of where it seems like people feel like if you say something about the media's role to play in it, then you're sort of saying that Caroline was innocent and blah. No, you can believe she did wrong and still accept at the same time that the media stepped out of line. Those two things don't have to.
They're not mutually.
Yeah, they're not.
They don't have to be mutually exclusive. Like
no, they can be mutually exclusive.
Sorry, yeah. But,
because. For example, with the whole situation, like the CPS going forward with the prosecution, people are saying, yo, listen, if that's a man, you guys would want him done for. And that's the truth. If we sit back and think about it, if that was, I don't know, who's a similar celebrity to her, like Ollie Murr or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it, yeah.
We would say, listen.
We want you in the can. In the can.
So, the evidence was suggesting something. Let's just say that. We're not the trial to convict her, but the evidence pointed to something. And so obviously that has to be followed through. But then I remember I saw a clip of this woman saying that, mental health should be taken into consideration when the CPS decide whether they're going to proceed with the
trial.
And she's got a point to a degree. It should be taken into consideration, but it can't be the deciding factor.
Naturally, but there was obviously that Instagram post. I don't know if you saw that. She wanted to post an Instagram explaining sort of her side of the story. Obviously, it'll be favorable towards the sort of situation that she found herself in, but her advisors said that she shouldn't post it. It was kind of saying, I can't quote it verbatim, word for word, but she just in the Instagram post, she was basically like, it was an accident. I found myself in a situation where my mental state was deteriorating, that kind of thing, and it was not simple, but it was an accident. It was just an accident, and the blood that they found, that they took pictures of in a flat or whatever, was her blood. She was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
When you look at it like that, and when you hear that kind of side of it, yeah, the whole mental state thing, your whole mental health thing, it should be a considered factor.
I think it should be a considered factor in deciding, are you guilty or not. I don't think it should be the number one factor in deciding whether something should go to trial or not. Something going to trial, if something illegal has happened, it needs to go to trial. It has to go to trial.
Yeah.
When deciding if the person is actually guilty or not, then yes, take that into, make that a high priority factor. That's my point.
Yeah.